My name is Phil Markowski. I'm the master brewer here at Two Roads. Believe it or not, this is the 7th annual Igor's Dream release party. So Igor's Dream came to be in our very first year of production, 2013. We produced Igor's Dream, had a release party, limited number of bottles, only about 1,000 bottles, and each year we've done it since. And a couple years ago we introduced 2 other variants that we do in very small scale, only about 250 bottles. So they're only available today on release day. For this year, 2019, we have 3 versions of Igor's Dream. The common thread is the rye-based version that's aged in rye whiskey barrels from Kentucky. Every year we vary the source of the barrels, and this year we have actually a blend of barrels from different distilleries in Kentucky. The second variant is a ruby port variant, which was aged in ruby port barrels that we sourced from Portugal. That one is a little more subtle, since the port adds a sweetness, wine-like character to it. The other variant is an absinthe. It was aged in absinthe barrels from a small distillery in the States that, well, I can't mention by name, but that one has a really intense character from the absinthe. In this case, the absinthe has a strong licorice and anise character to it. Absinthe, it's kind of a storied spirit that we thought would make an interesting combination with Igor's Dream.
Hi, Ryan Keelan. I'm pastry chef and working today at Two Roads for the Igor's Dream dessert pairing. So going through each beer that's going to be paired with a dessert, starting with the absinthe barrel beer, we have like a crunchy taco that's been tossed in burnt sugar, and then an apple pie filling with fennel and green chartreuse. So kind of plays along with the flavors of like green and a lot of different botanicals to go along with the absinthe flavoring. So moving along, we have the Rye Whiskey barrel aged. With that I made a root beer float marshmallow that I torched lightly, and then a sunchoke financier. In that, some brown butter, hazelnut, almond flour, and some burnt sunchoke puree. So it's kind of like warm and like very wintry and good. It goes like really tasty with rye. Then we have like the one that's aged on the cocoa husks, which I've messed with a lot with before. I've done a lot of chocolate production. So I made a chocolate sorbet, so it's dairy-free and vegan. That gets sit on some sweet potato and a caramel that I made from the spent grains from house. So they gave me some spent grains. I infused a liquid with that and made an actual milk from the spent grains and made the caramel from that. That has a little bit of a fermented barley chip to play along with a beer, and that one's actually really super tasty. That's like my favorite of the night. Then we have with the ruby port infused beer. So with the ruby port, it tasted had a lot of red notes and like berries. So I made palmier, which is like an elephant ear cookie, laminate dough. Puff pastry, if you will. So I lightly smoked the puff pastry. Then it's rolled up with some blackberry jam, cocoa nibs, dry berries, and dry berry powder. Just to cut all of that, I put a little bit of whipped cream and some more tonka bean on top of it, which is kind of like a smoked vanilla bean. So yeah, that's my 4. It should be really good.
Well, Igor Sikorsky was really a patron of Stratford. Not only does the company that bear his name live on and is still a major employer here in Stratford, but when Igor was alive, he was very generous to the town. It is our privilege to have Igor Sikorsky's sons here and his grandson, as they have come every year to sign bottles, just to talk and greet old employees of Sikorsky Aircraft. So it's really been it's just a great privilege to have them here, and they have added quite a bit to this event every year. The least we could do is try and follow his example, but again, he was a great inventor, innovator, aeronautical engineer, famous worldwide. And again, the town is home to Sikorsky aircraft, and I couldn't imagine not paying tribute and homage to Sikorsky being in the same town.